Aquaman floods the arena. He lifts the victim above a whirlpool as lightning strikes his trident. A huge mosasaur bites and drags the victim below. Aquaman's trident impales them.
I grow tired of you.
Shrunken down Adam hits the victim in the face. He slams them before growing to normal size and uppercutting them. Adam towers into a giant, crushing them back down. Atrocitus punches them against a rock. He summons the Butcher, which charges the victim.
That is your fate!
Atrocitus spews raging fire onto the victim. Bane launches the victim with a stomp. He leaps, striking and headbutting the victim. He drives his knee into their face. Bane brings them down in a catastrophic DDT piledriver. Batman attaches a gadget that drags the victim into the air, suspending them in front of the Batwing. The victim is riddled with machine gun fire before a missile sends them crashing to the ground. Black Adam flings the victim to Egypt, where they crash into a great pyramid. Adam tackles them through the pyramid and out the top. A lightning bolt strikes the victim and obliterates the pyramid. Black Canary Bicycle kicks the victim up into the air. She jumps and releases a supersonic canary cry that craters them into the ground. Black Canary drops on them with a gut punch. Black Lightning shocks the victim into the sky. He punches them, teleports, and lifts them to strike them with lightning. Black Lightning conjures an electrical fist that grabs the victim and slams them to the ground. Black Manta uses 2 shoulder-mounted missile launchers to blast the victim. He impales them with his spear gun and reels them in. Black Manta scorches them with his eye lasers. Blue Beetle's hands become maces to attack the victim. Then energy cannons. The cannons combine into one powerful laser that blasts the victim away.
Not bad, huh?
Brainiac summons 4 drones to fire their harpoons into the victim, holding them in place. Brainiac's skull ship looms overhead and fires a devastating laser down at them with enough force to destroy the drones. Captain Cold slides up an icy trail while peppering the victim with blasts from his cold gun. Leaping from the top, Captain Cold crushes the victim with a large icicle. Riding a motorcycle, Catwoman binds the victim's legs with her whip and drags them behind her. Speeding back, Catwoman leaps from her airborne motorcycle, which explodes on impact with the victim. Cheetah throws the victim into the air and viciously claws at them. She delivers more brutal slices, jumps onto their back, and shatters their spine. Cyborg blows the victim through a boom tube into Apocalypse. Parademons attack and drag them back to the boom tube, where Cyborg releases an energy blast that destroys the parademons from the force. Omega beams send the victim into orbit. The victim barrels through satellites before Darkseid catches them in his enlarged hand. Darkseid crushes them and pulls them back through a boom tube.
Pitiful display.
Deadshot throws his rifle into the air. He punches the victim and lodges his knife. He delivers an elbow and pulls the blade free before firing his wrist cannon. Deadshot catches his rifle and shoots them in the head over his shoulder. Dr. Fate transports the victim inside the Tower of Fate. 3 Dr. Fate slam them into a wall, strike them with mystic orbs, and eject them from the tower. Enchantress creates a magical vortex and steals the victim's soul. The extracted soul beats the victim's body down before spinning into a spiritual orb. Enchantress projects the orb into the victim. Firestorm dashes past the victim and throws 2 fireballs at them. He goes underground and emerges from beneath them, sending them into the air. Firestorm slams 2 atoms against the victim, causing an explosion. The Flash grabs the victim and runs back in time to ancient Egypt, smashing the victim into the face of the Sphinx. He travels to prehistoric times, colliding with a T-Rex. The Flash runs forward in time and slams the victim into their past self. Gorilla Grodd telekinetically lifts the victim towards him before pummeling them into the ground. He pulls them close, roars in their face, and punches them across the arena. Green Arrow fires an explosive arrow behind the victim and throws them on top of it. He freezes them with another trick arrow and comes down in a stomp, shattering the ice. Green Lantern creates giant robot legs. Robotic hands clap the victim. He constructs the body and slams them with the neck. The constructed neck fires a laser beam at the victim. Harley Quinn unleashes Bud and Lou. The hyenas savagely maul the victim. Harley decks the victim with her baseball bat.
Punk in G-Town, you're in for a beating!
Hellboy tackles the victim through a portal. He beats them as they fall into hell. Demons claw at the victim. Hellboy chops down with a mighty axe swing. The Joker hits the victim with a canister of laughing gas, knocking them onto an electric chair. Joker clobbers them in the head with his crowbar before flipping a switch. The coursing electricity ignites a stack of dynamite underneath the victim. Poison Ivy fills the stage with overgrowth. A vine pulls the victim into the maw of a gigantic Venus flytrap. Ivy throws the victim through a wall of plant matter, returning to the fight line. Raiden transports the victim to the Earth-Realm Sky Temple. He punches the victim, teleports, and lifts them up to strike them with lightning. Raiden transforms into an electrical dragon that bites the victim and crashes them down onto a stone bridge. Red Hood drops a timer grenade behind the victim and drop kicks them onto it. He plugs them with pistol shots and plants a sticky bomb on their back. Red Hood rains gunfire, aims down his iron sight, and shoots the sticky bomb. Robin throws a set of bird-orangs into the distance. He charges, slicing the victim with his sword. Robin backflips and poses as the returning bird-orangs embed in the victim before detonating. A large chain pulls the victim through a tear in reality into a graveyard. A massive scarecrow drags and slams him through the grave. The scarecrow smashes them down with their own engraved headstone. A starbolt sends the victim into low orbit. Starfire batters the victim with multiple starbolts. She unleashes a powerful supernova that sends the victim crashing back to Earth like a shooting star. Sub-Zero flips the victim into the air with a slide. He freezes them and smashes them with an ice hammer. He sprays them with ice shards, freezing them. Sub-Zero slams them face first. Supergirl grabs the victim and flies into space. She circles around the sun, absorbing solar energy. She releases a powerful blast of heat vision, sending the victim through an asteroid belt and back to Earth. The victim crashes and is hit by more raining asteroids. Superman grabs the victim and punches them into the stratosphere. He propels them with 2 more strikes before flying ahead and catching them. Superman dives, slamming the victim back down to the fight line.
I will pulverize you.
The victim is dragged into an earthy underground. Large viney hands grab them and slam them about the cavern. The victim is raked over pointed rock, breaking their back. They are thrown back onto the fight line. Leonardo slashes the victim. Michelangelo smacks them and tosses his skateboard. Raphael kicks the board into their face and throws his side. Donatello launches them with his staff.
Shell shot!
All 4 strike the victim with their shells. Wonder Woman lassos the victim's leg and uppercuts them with her shield before throwing it. She jumps and strikes them into the ground. Wonder Woman stabs and bludgeons the victim with her sword and shield before delivering a stomp.
You will submit.